Hello everyone and welcome back to Agent Nagash, which is a channel dedicated to Sigmar. Now in this video, as promised, we're going to look at the Flesh-Eater Court's preview for the Endless Spells and the Charnel Throne. So what I'm going to do is, again, this is going to be the first time we read through this article as I've been doing the other ones, just basically I haven't had the time to read it before, and as I like to sort of explore at the same sort of times I do my videos to try and catch my excitement. So going into the article, we have got saying the Carrion Empire and the Flesh-Eater Court's Battle Tome will be available to pre-order in mere hours, of course that being today, as it is the day of pre-order. And it says to tide you over while you wait, we've got one more preview, a closer look at the Endless Spells plus the Charnel Throne scenery piece. Okay, so this is the last preview, so we're not going to get any next week while waiting for pre-orders, but I'm sure there'll be some leaks and stuff on Facebook anyway. And just let you one thing know about the scenery piece, the Charnel Throne. I apologise, that's not how you pronounce Charnel or something like that. Charnel, maybe, I'm not too sure, but hopefully I'm not butchering the name too much. Anyway, going on, it says the Endless Spells aren't just useful for Flesh-Eater Court's armies, they're also great for any death army that contains Nagash, who, as befits the god of death, can cast all of them. Okay, so firstly this means that any future death armies we might see in the future, like a long way off sort of thing, Nagash will be able to cast all their spells as well. It looks like he's just going to be able to cast like all death spells, which is good. And the first one is called the Carnivorous Barricade. So what's better than a wall? Well, a wailing barricade of corpses, of course. This horrific bulwark is great for slowing down your foes or lending your units some cover against enemy shooting. Okay, so like we've always said with Flesh-Eater Court, shooting plays a big part as our weakness. Shooting has been nulled a little bit with the Lookout Serral, which really helps out the Flesh-Eater Courts, and this sounds like it's just going to help them even more, so let's have a look to see what it does. So, the Carnivorous Barricade. Description: a Carnivorous Barricade is a single model. And then how do you actually summon it? So it says summon Carnivorous Barricade. So summon Carnivorous Barricade has a casting value of 5. Only Nagash, Supreme Lord of the Undead and abhorrents can attempt to cast the spell. If successfully cast, set up a Carnivorous Barricade model wholly within 24 inches of the caster and more than 1 inch away from enemy models. Okay, so that's actually a huge range you've got there as well, because only 1 inch away from the enemy models isn't bad, and 24 inches of the caster. I mean, yeah, it looks like it's not the smallest endless spell, but 24 inches is pretty big. Yeah, especially if it's going to be like on a guy who's casting it on a zombie dragon or something with a big base size. Right, okay, then let's see what it actually does. So ability, so grasp in hand. So if the model starts a move within 3 inches of this model, half the distance that model can move. When it makes that move, death units are not affected by this ability. Okay, so this is like Spectral Grasp, I believe it is, from the Legions of Nagash book, that makes your enemies, half the movement characteristics. However, this isn't half the movement characteristics, so this, I believe, will come to effect if they, let's say the enemy unit moves, 5 inches, and let's say it runs as well, and it rolls a 5 to run, so then it's moving 10 inches. I think it will half the overall movement. I think that's how it's going to work. It's not going to affect your death units, so you don't have to worry about that. So yeah, it's a very nifty ability, and being able to shut down the enemy's movement is absolutely huge. I've stressed this before in my videos, and I can't stress this enough. Being able to control movement in the game, obviously for you being able to move fast and for you to make the enemy slower, is absolutely huge. Of course, no matter how much damage and stuff you can do to the enemy and attacks and all those sorts of things. However, being able to null the enemy's movement is absolutely massive and shouldn't be underrated. So the last one is Grisly Obstacle. So when a missile weapon targets a unit that has all of its models within 1 inch of this model, and then the target unit receives the benefit of cover if the attacking model is closer to this model than it is to the target unit. Okay, so yep, this is why it's good against shooting. So yeah, it's just like a scenery piece for you to give you cover, and you don't have to be on top, obviously, just within 1 inch. And like we said, like with shooting, with like the Lookout Serral, so if you take one of your courtiers, they're going to be -1 to hit from the enemy shooting. They're within, I believe, 3 inches of a friendly unit of 3 or more models, so the enemy will be -1 to hit them. Then with this, giving them a +1 to their save, so your courtiers, like most of them, well, I say most of them, let's just take the Crypt Haunter courtier as an example, has a 4-up save, but now it's got a 3-up save, and it's going to be -1 for the enemy shooting if you make sure all your other units and synergies are within range. So yeah, I can see myself using that, I think. Depends how much points they are, of course, but I can see a use for that. Okay, and then going on to the next one, which is the Chalice of USHORAN, and I apologise if I'm butchering that name, but I think that's right. Okay, so the Chalice of USHORAN is a cutting endless spell that allows you to turn dead enemies into replacement criticals or just heal your favourite units. Cast it on the front lines to considerably improve your army's survivability. Okay, so I said something along these lines when we first looked at this Chalice, when we didn't see any rules and stuff, but it was, or any details, but I was like, that looks like to me it's going to take wounds away from your enemies and heal wounds to yourself, and it sounds like it's going to do that. So let's see what the rules say. So, description: a Chalice of USHORAN is a single model summon Chalice of USHORAN, so has a casting value of 6. Only Nagash, Supreme Lord of the Undead, and abhorrents can attempt to cast. If successfully cast, set up the Chalice of USHORAN model wholly within 24 inches of the caster. Okay, then going into the... So firstly, yeah, huge range, that's good. Going into the ability, so Soul Stealer, so we've got keep track of the number of models that are slain within 12 inches of this model each turn. At the end of each turn, roll a dice for each model that was slain within 12 inches of this model. During that turn, for each 4+, heal 1 wound allocated to 1 Flesh Eater Court model within 12 inches of this model, or return 1 slain model to Flesh Eater Court units with wound characteristics of 1 that is wholly within 12 inches of this model. So that's basically just going to be criticals from that, unless they get any more models, but I doubt it. And then, yeah, that's good. So it's just, the Flesh Eater Courts are all about regeneration, aren't they? And as well as it might seem like, oh, no one can destroy my unit, I've had a unit of 12 Cryptors before get deleted in 1 turn. So, I mean, the enemy checked everything they fucking had of them. They got really lucky. However, they still got deleted. So it's always good to be able to have ways to, heal back. Or like even you've got a unit of, let's say 9 Crypt Flares, and you think, well, they're not going to be able to be destroyed. And you've got them in the Dead Watch Battalion and all that sort of thing. The enemy can definitely hit them so hard that you've lost like 7 in a turn. And you think, crap, I really need to start healing up and bringing back, models there. And this is just going to be a way for you to heal up. This is also good for your heroes. As remember, your courtiers are your key, most important part of your Flesh Eater Court army. They're what provides most of the synergy. They're the guys who bring back, your models. So you really, really need to take care of them. So being able to heal them through this way, it's just another way to keep them alive. And could make the Vargolf even more survivable. So yeah, I'll be taking this, I think. And again, obviously it always depends on points cost for these spells. So I don't really run any endless spells, I'm honest. I've done it, but I don't put them on my list normally. But these ones I can definitely sort of see are useful. Okay, and then going on to the CORPSEMARE Stampede, which is the lovely stampede of horses. I know some people have said they are literally just like the ones from, the Nighthaunt pretty much. They look very similar. However, I think they are lovely models, which I'll be fielding this probably anyway, regardless what the rules are like, because I just think the model is awesome. Okay, so CORPSEMARE Stampede. So first it says a CORPSEMARE Stampede is a single model. It then says a CORPSEMARE Stampede is a predatory endless spell. It can move up to 14 inches and can fly. So quite a big movement there. And then it says magic. So summon CORPSEMARE Stampede. Summon a CORPSEMARE Stampede has a casting value of 7. Only Nagash, Supreme Lord of the Undead, and opponents can attempt to cast this spell. If successfully cast, set up the CORPSEMARE Stampede model wholly within 3d6 of the caster. Okay, so not a huge range, because it's only wholly 3d6. Could be massive, could be small. Well, it could be up to 18 inches, couldn't it? Which is not too bad. However, though, I mean, I'm sure if you look at the model, you can probably tell. But if you roll 3 1s and you can't fit it within, because that would give you set up within 3 inches of the caster, and if the model is wider than 3 inches, is that impossible? I mean, it probably will be within 3 inches, like the size of its base and stuff. I'm sure they thought that through. I just thought, wonder if that happens, but no, ignore that. They have probably put that into effect, and its base is probably more than 3 inches. So going into the abilities, grazed gap. So when this model is set up, the player who set it up can immediately make a move with it. Okay, so what does that actually do? So we've got trampled underfoot as its ability. So it says after this model has moved, roll 5 dice for each unit that has any models it passed across. For each roll that is more than that unit's wounds characteristic, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. For each roll of a 6, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds instead, whatever its wounds characteristic is. Okay, so firstly, if you're going against 1 wound models, you're more than likely going to get at least like 4 mortal wounds off or something to the enemy unit. I mean, all you need to do is just basically not roll ones. So that's good against, you know, those sorts. Obviously, if you take this against, you know, units with 2 wounds, you know, you probably still get quite a few more wounds off. If you take it against things like, you know, 4 more wounds, you're not going to get, well, you get, what, 50-50 sort of thing with that. So it's not going to be great against hero stuff. However, if you get lucky and you roll a few 6s, you can really do some damage with this. It's got good potential. This is quite a... This is, like I've said, not so much with the Skaven, but this is what I would say is a sort of risk-reward. You know, spell, like, you could use it and it could do nothing. However, it has the potential of doing quite a lot of damage to your enemy, for sure. And only casting a value of a 7 isn't bad. Depends how many points it's going to cost as well, obviously. And, yeah, you know, there's no negatives here to you. There's something to mention about all the spells for the Flesh-Eater Courts is that by casting the spells, you can't really do much, you know, harm to yourself, unlike some of the previous spells that we've seen. And particularly how some of the Skaven work, you know, you can rest assured a little bit with the Flesh-Eater Courts. Okay, so that's all this end of spells, and then going on to the Charnel Throne, and I think that's pronounced right. Like I say, apologies if it isn't. So it says, can be included in any Flesh-Eater Courts army and costs no match play points, like the Herdstone or Bad Moon Loon Shrine. It's a core part of any army on the battlefield. It will bolster the courage of your troops, reduce the bravery of your enemies, and allow you to save your valuable command points when summoning. Right, okay, so this has promised a lot, so let's see what it actually does. Okay, so the throne is a single model, it's a train feature obviously, and it is an obstacle. Okay, so going into the scenery rules, we've got a ghoulish landmark. So Flesh-Eater Courts units treat this terrain feature as having the inspiring scenery rule. All other units treat this terrain feature as having a sinister scenery rule. Okay, and then going on to the next bit, so talking about inspiring. So inspiring, basically what it does is add 1 to brave characteristics of units while they're within 1 inch of any inspiring terrain features. And you might think, well, Flesh-Eater Courts got loads of good bravery anyway, you know, bravery 10. However, it's always good to get more bravery when you can. You know, like I said, if you've got like a unit of 9 flares and 7 of them die, and you can't inspire presence for them, they are in a lot of trouble. Okay, and then going into the next one, so what it's going to do to your opponent, basically, as long as they're not Flesh-Eater Courts, is they're going to have the Sinister ability for this terrain feature, which is subtract 1 from the bravery characteristics of units while they're within 1 inch of any Sinister terrain feature. And the reason why this is really good, because you've got things like your Terrorgeist and your Crypt Flares that are going to hopefully do all that lovely damage to the enemy with their shooting attacks. The Crypt Flares are like, their shooting attack is not good unless you take the artifact that makes the enemy -2 bravery, and also you need to you know, have this nearby as well just to enhance it, because -2 bravery before was really good. -3 bravery now is, well, massive, isn't it? In comparison, especially it makes the flare shooting attack from nothing to really good. So yeah, and the Terrorgeist even better. So that's nice to see that. And then going into the next bit, it's the ruler of all he surveys. So an abhorrent archregent, which, just so you guys know, is the new model you're going to get in the box coming out. And that is within 1 inch of this terrain feature, can use the Summon Imperial Guard command ability without a command point being spent. Okay, and then it says, in addition, an abhorrent Ghoul King that is within 1 inch of this terrain feature can use the Summon Men-at-Arms command ability without command point being spent. Okay, this is huge, because let's just start with the abhorrent Ghoul King. That means you can summon units of 10 ghouls for free. So that's pretty amazing. Yeah, I mean, like, you can only do it once without paying the points for it, but you know, that's still once for a free command point, really. You're not spending the command points, so that's good. And the abhorrent region, the reason why this is amazing is because he can summon either 10 ghouls, 3 Crypt Flares of Crypt Horrors, or a Courtier. And the reason why I love this is because the Courtier, obviously I'm going to be bringing along, is a Varghulf, because they're absolutely amazing. I'm really hoping their points to go up, because I absolutely love them. They're great in combat, they add loads of synergy to the army, but their save's not very good. But we can live by that. You know, they've got a 5+ save, could be a 6+, you know, it could be worse. But they have been, I've had a lovely Varghulf being hit in the head by many Doom Diver catapults in the past with a pain in the arse -2 rend. That really hurts me. But anyway, yes, so basically I'll be using this command ability to bring on my Varghulfs. I get a Varghulf for free. I'm no longer having to take a, you know, abhorrent Ghoul King on Zombie Dragon to get a Varghulf for free. I can take this guy, who is going to be no more than 200 points, probably less, I reckon, 180 points, So that is absolutely fantastic. I love it. And also, you know, you don't have to take a Vargolf. You can take you might need some Tengals. You can just bring them. You might need some Crypt Flares to give you the movement. You might need some Crypt Horrors just to have something a bit tougher, and to take out maybe a small enemy horde unit. You've really got your options open, the Abhorrent Arch Regent, which is why I really like it. And this train feature, it's free in your army. You're not paying any points for it. It's free, which absolutely is huge and amazing. Obviously, you know, your Arch Regent, as there's a picture here, and he's like sitting on top of the throne. He doesn't have to be like that. However, if he is like on the scenery piece, I suppose it counts him being in train, so he would also get +1 to his save for the cover. I imagine that's how it works. So yeah, that's cool. You don't have to pay points for this, like I said. There's no reason why you wouldn't take it unless you're strapped with cash at the moment you can't afford it, which is absolutely fair enough. But yeah, if you can afford it and take it, definitely take this thing. It gives a lot to your army. It's not just like, oh, you know, it gives you +1 bravery and -1 bravery to the enemy, which is still good. You're now using your really good command points for free. Yeah, you can only use them once without paying the army building points for them, unless they change in the new battle tome. But that is still really, really big, and it means I will definitely be taking this, and it means that you'll really have to think where you want to place it on the battlefield. I don't think we can see where you set it up, but we will see that shortly. But yes, this scenery piece did not let me down. I did say when I first saw the pictures, I thought that this would inspire your army, so it's giving you bravery, so I was right there. And also I feel that it could be a way to like call, you know, like flesh-eater courts from like across the realms to come to the battle, which it does in a way. So well, it does do that, to be fair, actually, with the ruler of all he surveys ability. So yeah, absolutely happy to be right on this one, guys. I also love the model as well. Lovely terrain feature, loads of dead corpses and stuff, absolutely lovely. Really enjoy that, and it looks like it's going to be a load of fun to paint as well. And it's really cool having a scenery piece designed, you know, for your army, especially the flesh-eater courts, how their models are. They're not, apart from the Arch Regent, obviously we're going to get now, and the spells, they weren't new models, were they? They were just like, you know, the only sort of new model they made for them was just basically saying you can make the Crypt Horror kit a little bit differently to make a new unit, which wasn't a new unit. So it's nice they are actually getting a new model here. It's a big one as well, which is nice. And yeah, especially compared to the grave sites for Legions of Nagash, that should have been a terrain feature, but unfortunately was just like cardboard cutouts if you bought them. So that is the throne. It then says the endless spells and the throne will be able to pre-order. It says tomorrow, but obviously that's today. In the meantime, let us know how you'll be using them in your games of Warhammer Age of Sigmar on the Facebook page. Okay, yes, yeah, so just saying, are you excited about all that sort of thing? So yeah, generally, guys, happy with these spells. It's not one that really disappoints me, if I'm honest. I mean, I think some are better than others. I think the Chalice is definitely worth taking, depending on the points. And the throne is the best thing here, without a doubt. And like I said, the spells, I don't think they're amazing, but they're not bad. You know, I feel like I can see a use for each one of those. Yeah, I'd say, and the models are fantastic as well, so can't really complain. And yeah, I know the Radiant is just like the one from the guy, no more, but you know, I don't care, it still looks cool. So yeah, that's everything, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, please like, subscribe and comment down below, as that does all help me massively. Like I've said recently, I see loads of you guys have been doing that, and honestly, it's amazing for you guys to do that. It really does help support the channel in more ways that you can imagine. And yeah, thank you very much for doing so. So let me know down below your thoughts. What are you going to pre-order today? Tell me what you have. Tell me if you're saving up for a little bit for when it gets released, or you want to see how the rules are a little bit first before you actually purchase, or you're tempted or diving into Flesh-Eater Courts or the Skaven. Please let me know that, and that would be absolutely fantastic to hear. So guys, like I say, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please let me down below what you're going to get. And remember, until next time, Nagash is all, and all is one in Nagash.